Okay, at this time, the next person is going to be Angelique. I just want to just tell you a minute about Angelique. Well, you heard she's a very passionate person. She has a deep desire to see our children and their potential. And she's very much against the anti-American concepts that are being promoted, the idea of equity instead of constitutionally guaranteed right of equality. Her passion is driven by the fact that her family lost their home and their farm, their entire livelihood due to the communist takeover in Cuba. Since 1962, her family has cherished the freedoms that the U.S. of America offers. Ms. Contreras wants the same freedoms and opportunities for the future generations of Palm Beach County. So at this time, Angelique, why don't you come on up?
Okay, so as many of you saw, and you've heard throughout the candidates that the public school system is failing our children. They're teaching our children to hate each other. They're teaching them to hate our country. And as you heard, Karen Moran, they're pushing an agenda to confuse them about their gender. These are things that are actually taking place in our public school system. You know, we sit here and we see them or we watch them on the news, and we sometimes think to ourselves, or I do, this can't be real. This can't be the reality that we're living in today. I have 3 children, an 11-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And it hurts me to know that my grandfather, who died at 98 years old, at 17 years old, left Cuba to fight after Pearl Harbor as a Cuban for America in World War II. Till the day that he died, he sang, "God Bless America." And that my children now are being told to hate this country, when this was the only option for us. This was the only way that our family could rebuild a legacy for ourselves. You see, everything was robbed from us. And that's what they're trying to do to your families. And I hate to say that. I hate that that has to be our reality today. I feel like years ago we might have been told this, but I don't think we really grasped that that was going to become true. And it's here today. Like I said earlier, the reason why you are all here tonight is because you care about the future of America and because you care about the future generations. And I want to thank you all again, and I will say it time and time again. I want to thank you all for being here, okay? They will say that critical race theory is not being taught in our schools. And it is. You know, your tax dollars went towards bringing in a consultant from Washington, D.C. with the National School Board Organization. And that consultant came in to tell our schools how they are, in fact, racist. And we had a mission statement that passed in Palm Beach County. And that mission statement stated that their mission was to dismantle schools structured in white advantage. And I'd like to pose them a question. We have had a 7-0 stronghold of Democrats on that board for over 21 years. If it is racist, it is because of them. So yes, it is being pushed. Those are the individuals that are backing the unions. Those are the individuals that are switching our curriculum. And many of you aren't aware of this, and I'll go back to the correlation to Cuba. In 1959 to 1962, there was a Pedro Pan movement where they were taking children out of Cuba and bringing them with churches to America to get them away from the radical agenda of Fidel Castro and the Communist Party. And they did that from 1959 to 1962. And there is a museum in Miami that goes into detail about the stories of what happened. And they said the school shut down for a year. Picture this, a school shut down for a year. What happened to us in 2020? The school shut down. And what are we seeing today? When they went back to school, when Fidel Castro took control, they saw the indoctrination and the communism. Do you know what happened to the parents and to the priests and the nuns that spoke out against that education? They were ostracized, they were murdered, they were thrown in jail. Do you know what they were teaching their kids? To hate their parents and to believe in the communist ideology. That's what we're seeing in our public school system today. And that's why we must have options, one, to vote out the individuals that are doing this to our children, to create new systems that will overpass and take over these radical unions. And we must have school choice. It is very, very vital that we have school choice. So the ways that you guys can get equipped, and I'm gonna speak about a book that I found because I'm talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Equity is my story tied to Cuba and what the lie of equity is. We have a chief of equity and diversity and wellness committee in Palm Beach County, Keith Oswald. They have an equity committee hearing every single month. There's your critical race theory. She already spoke about the inclusion, and I'll speak a little bit further on inclusion. I don't see that there is any kids in here. I am going to be showing a book. It's called Fun Home. It is very graphic. It is in our middle schools and in our high schools. And this is the pornography that we are finding, and Florida Citizens Alliance as well is finding. And you yourself can get list of books and look them up through the Discovery portal. So it's Destiny. So destiny.palmbeachschools.org. That's destiny.palmbeachschools.org. You're able to go on there, look up any of the schools in Palm Beach County, put in a book title, and you'll find it. Florida Citizens Alliance, I have here, they actually found that 74% of their books on their pornography list, they found them in our school libraries in Palm Beach County, and we're the second county, like the second largest county in all the state of Florida. So they're pushing pornography on our kids, and I also want you to know that there is Florida statutes that they're breaking the law, basically, by having these books in their library. And we have to call them out for it. We have to file lawsuits against them. We have to hold press conferences. Those are things that we all can do together to create change and bring awareness to the community. So this is one option here. So this talks about the Florida Citizens Alliance a little bit more. And then this is the viewer discretion advised. This book is called Fun Home, and like I said, it's in our middle schools, in our high schools. In one of the pages, I'm gonna pull off the mic here. In one of the pages, it says, but would an ideal husband and father have sex with teenage boys? But would an ideal husband and father have sex with teenage boys while he's sitting in a church? While he's sitting in a church. This is one of the other pages. The father was doing work on a body. And then this is the author of the book in one of the pages, and you can read others as pornography in the harsh light of dawning feminism. Everything looked different, and this is one of the books. But this is, one of the pages, and this next page is one of the most graphic pages, and this, again, is in our middle school and high schools. This is one of the pages, and it says, lesbian terrorist, keep your God off my body, and there's, yes. This is just one. This is just one of the pornographic books. And I'm shaking, and I get emotional every time. And I've known about this book for months, and I've sat on it because I think it's important that we take this information, we get it out to the public, and we don't allow them to just sweep it under the rug. Because every time we bring something to them, they sweep it under the rug. We found Marxist stuff on their school websites. You bring it to them, they sweep it under the rug. And the public is never made aware. And these are the things that are being swept into our school libraries, and our kids have every chance to look at. So I have 2 guest speakers and testimonies that are going to be speaking tonight on their testimonies.